I got a light for this thing finally. And as you can see, the moss wall is starting to fall off. And overall, I think this thing just needs a rehaul. So for the first time, I'm actually going to do this on camera. So what we're going to do is we're going to go outside and we're going to get a few things. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. And then I'm just going to kind of do it in here rather than taking this downstairs or anything. There's a few things I want to talk about in here. First of all, there's these stupid little flies. They're called fungus gnats. Thank you to that one guy who actually watched my videos. I'm trying to get rid of them slowly. Don't know how long it's going to take. The slugs and everything, they're still in here. They just go into the leaf litter. Once we get everything in here and spritz it, they should start coming out. What we're going to do is we're going to get some twigs so the moss wall can be propped up a bit more, because the problem is with the Gorilla Glue, what happens is the humidity combined with the heat of the lamp is it eventually just, well, that happens first of all, but it eventually just falls off. Yeah, this lamp is not like attached to anything. I just kind of prop it up on the side here. I mean, I don't leave it on all day, but it still works. What I'm going to do is put some actual, now that we have a light, I can leave it on all day, we're going to put some proper plants in here. So we're just going to make this thing look really nice. So we're going to go get some sticks, some leaf litter. Yeah, so I've got this bin here from the terrarium video, if you remember the last one where we took it apart. I'm just going to put stuff on top of this because I don't really want to go dirtify another container. Yeah, those damn flies are starting to piss me off, but that doesn't matter. So we're going to go outside, get some moss and stuff, and let's do it. Really quickly, I'd just like to mention that I finally got 6 neon tetras in total. So yeah, that's pretty good. So we got 3 Corys, 6 neons, and only 2 black neons. I'm going to get a few more of those guys. And I just trimmed off some of the dying leaves from the sword fern, put some new root tabs in. Hopefully that growth gets promoted and we get some offshoots, because that could be pretty cool. I should probably cut off that dead stem down there. Doesn't matter. Overall, this tank's doing pretty well. Just thought I'd show you guys. This tank is also doing pretty well. I think it's getting a bit too overgrown. Not for my personal taste, but... not for my personal taste, but like for the fact that some of the plants are like starting, I think they're starting to get like choked out a bit. So I think I might just trim up some of this water wisteria and put it in a different tank or something. I don't know. Overall, both tanks look pretty good though. Anyways, let's go back to what we were doing. Actually, no, before we do that, there's one other thing. I hate making poorly structured videos, but you can see the bowl's looking pretty nice, and I got red cherry shrimp. Thank you, Sarah from PetSmart. Yeah, so there's the red cherry shrimp are in here now. There's 4 of them. One of them has eggs, so hopefully we get babies pretty soon. The Daphnia, the copepods, the planaria, all the other stuff that was in here, it's still in here. The heater is now on, and the bowl is a lot more... I thought the temperature might like make some of the stuff go away, but no, everything's been a lot more active. Of course, as I'm talking about it, it's not super active, but it is. A lot of the stuff hides up here in the Salvina, and now there's some duckweed in here too. It's pretty cool. Bamboo's doing fine. I added a Marimo moss ball. The shrimp, honestly, these things are like a meme. Like, they're not really... They kind of help with algae, but overall I only put it in here because I didn't like it how it looked in my tank, and the shrimp like to climb on it, just like they like to climb on anything, so I figured it was fine. There's a new Java fern just floating in there because I couldn't be bothered to plant it. Yeah, overall this tank's doing pretty good. I don't even have to feed them, they'll just eat the dying leaves off the sword fern. So yeah, this thing's doing pretty nice, and it looks pretty nice. So without all that stupid delay, let's go set up the isopod thingy. Yeah. Here's my haul. So let's get to it, I guess. Okay, so I made us a little workspace here. So we've got the terrarium. Maybe I should put this on my desk. I'm trying to think if I had this in like the corner, it could look kind of cool. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Anyways, here's the stuff, and we're gonna get to this. So the first thing we're gonna do is obviously remove the lid and the saran wrap, and hopefully all those flies will fly out and I can kill them. Now, if we do it, I might actually replace this because this hole is so big. things can escape if they really wanted to. Now, if you look here, you can see there's a few like dead isopods. So what happens is they'll climb up the moss wall and get up here. So what I did is I added some leaf litter. So the hope is that if they do get up here, they've got like, you know, something to sustain themselves on. Oddly enough, though, ever since I've put this up here, I've only seen them come up and go back down. I think what happened before is they get stuck. They'd somehow get over here and they get stuck, but now they can kind of climb their way back over, so that's helpful. Overall, this thing seems to be doing all right, but we do have a few dead pieces of moss and stuff. Overall, I could just use a bit of a revamp, so let's get started on that. Okay, so we have a bit of lighting here, so you guys should be able to see. Okay, that's fine. Truly, I am the king of filmmaking. Alright, let's think about this. We like put it like there, and you guys can see, but the issue is it might be hard to work out. We'll work around it. So I'm gonna get some super glue out, which I have right here. So we've got our super glue, we've got our bowl of delicious materials. I'm also going to get a few other things here. Got a piece of driftwood, some utensils, some tweezers, and I guess now it's time to start on the build. So I think I'm going to speed this up and then periodically stop it maybe to talk, and we'll see how that goes. We're going to put down this placemat to work on so we don't make a total mess. Some stupid thing I made in like elementary school, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So the first thing we're going to want to do is reattach that fallen wall, and that shouldn't be too big of an issue. In fact, we can probably just prop it back up. The issue is more getting it to stay up. Now, I've done the moss wall a bit, but what I've noticed is these two carrots are attracting a lot of fly activity, and I think these might be the main culprits. There's also some like moldy bits down here. Overall, I'm just gonna kind of clean the whole thing out. I think I need to just be doing more regular maintenance, and the flies shouldn't be too much of a problem. Kind of talk over this part here. I got rid of the light because it was too hard to see. It actually hindered your viewing. But all these leaves and stuff are fine, but the issue is if we look down here, there's just like sort of moss that isn't like, it's sort of decomposed, but it's not really like providing anything. So we're just gonna get rid of that stuff. I think I'm just gonna chuck it outside for some nutrients or something. Let's place it here for now. Yeah, it's just kind of dead and kind of gross, and overall I think we can improve on this thing a lot. I think part of that is just doing more regular maintenance, but there does have to be some sort of trick to keeping this more sort of alive and healthy, so we're going to try to figure out what that is. Okay, so I removed most of the leaf litter, and there's nothing really crawling on it, so that kind of determines to me that this isn't really got any stuff left to give. If we look in here, you can see it's a bit more cleaned up. Now I'm trying to remove all this dead moss, and thankfully all the flies are flying out. And these fungus gnats, the one positive thing I'll say about them is they don't fly very fast, and they're not like mosquitoes where you can never hit them. Like literally every time I try to do like the badass like, oh, catch fly with my fingers, I've been able to kill them. So they're not evasive at all. In fact, I'd say they're almost too easy to kill. Okay. Let's think about this for a second. I'm gonna give the glass a bit of like a clean, because right now it's not looking too good. Just have a wet paper towel. We're gonna just kind of clean it up. One thing I will say though, I don't mind having to do maintenance on this thing because it's kind of fun. Just same with aquariums and stuff. Like I didn't mind, I wasn't even upset. Well, I was upset initially when my 10-gallon sprung a leak, but I mean after that it was kind of fun because it's like, oh, now I get to rescape a tank. It's kind of like it's a way of starting a new tank without, you know, buying a new tank. We're going to use some more paper towel to dry this off. I hate this phone tripod. It was so good for a while, and now it's just kind of like, I don't even know what happened. Like when I bought it, it was perfect, and then like 2 days later, I know you're going to say I should have returned it, and I should have, but the bottom part doesn't like tripod. It just sort of sits flat. I don't know. It's really stupid. It was cheap, so that's probably why, but still, I swear it worked at first. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Not sure where somewhere is, but we are getting there. Alright, let's think about this. This stick can stay. Should stay. Got some rotting wood, that's good. The pods like that. There's this piece here that's kind of bothering me because it's all covered in dead moss. There's a nice spot underneath there. You see him? We're gonna keep this, I think. I like sort of the layered nature we've got going on. Just gonna shove that back in there. Okay, I'm just gonna rearrange the rocks a bit, I think. I'm curious as to, if you look, like certain patches of moss, you can't tell because, hold on, I'm gonna turn off the 9-gallon really quick. Or I'm just gonna turn it down a bit. Hey guys. I turned up the lighting because I was thinking that's why the plants weren't getting as much light, because I, turned down the light. That's a bit better. You can see like the moss on this side is doing great, and so is like a lot of this. There are dead spots, but that's kind of to be expected. And then like this is completely dead, but then that's alive. Like I don't really know what's causing what to be alive, but overall I just want to make this a lot more lush, so it's kind of what we're gonna go for. Lush environment. So I've got these two like fern pieces, the same ones in that one terrarium, the big one that I made last time, so we're gonna just kind of stick these in somewhere. And I have a feeling the ice pods are gonna eat this over time, but that's okay. That's kind of what they do. Okay, we're already seeing some improvement here. I got this like giant bush thing. I want to just shove that in there somewhere. Be at the back there. Sort of break a piece of it off. I don't want to use it all. Just put some of it back. But if we just something back here, what is it? Just some like decayed moss. It's all dead. Oh, it's dead. gonna prop some sticks up against the moss wall, and this kind of just act as a sort of extra support when the super glue or inevitably fails. I think I called it Gorilla Glue earlier, but it is super glue. Kind of like, this one's not really gonna help anything, but it's gonna just go here. There's a cool stink bug over here, let me show you. He will either go in there or he will get lost in my room and probably eventually find his way into my fish tank or something. I'm gonna put a lot of leaf litter in here, but I'm gonna kind of section it to like, I think this area maybe, so maybe we'll just go up here and just put some leaf litter in there. Could be kind of interesting. I wanna kind of start promoting moss growth on the wood, if that makes sense. And here we are about 2 weeks later with the setup. Everything's been growing in. It looks really nice, and there's just a few things I want to talk about here. First of all, the slugs are gone, all right? I don't know if they died due to a lack of food or a lack of moisture at the time, but the slugs are gone. The snails and isopods are still here and doing fine, and the fly population has significantly diminished. You can see some pods back there. Overall, this thing is doing really nicely. The only plant that isn't doing well is this one back here. And the reason for that is pretty much it wasn't fully planted in the dirt, so it kind of just shriveled up and died. But that's fine, the isopods can eat it, and then I'll probably just put something new back there. This bushy thing, well, it looks dead, it's actually not. It's just when it's not super hydrated, it looks like that. And then, yeah, all the moss is doing really well. I haven't seen really any moss die off yet. The moss wall's holding up pretty well. This leaf litter is actually aquarium trimmings. We've got leaves from, that's from an anubis. that's Anacharis, and that's from a sword fern. So I'm kind of like, repurposing stuff. I cut off my leaves and I toss them here, and so far I've seen isopods eating some of it. This plant is crazy. I remember if you look in the video, it's like barely even a plant, and now it's like, ooh, it's huge. It's really cool. The fern is still doing well. This plant's grown quite a bit. As if this plant's doing well, that moss is doing well. The only thing that really got decimated by the isopods was this cute little moss patch that was right here. You can still see like the tiniest bit of green on it. And that's kind of the same moss as this, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, overall this thing's doing really well. It looks really cool. The only thing I'm really upset about is that one dying plant, but I kind of thought it was going to die because I didn't plant it all the way. I just, was experimenting. I wanted to see if the roots would grow down or anything. I added a few more sticks that I found outside, kind of just prop up the wall and add a bit more depth to the entire thing. Other than the isopods and the snails, there's a few other things in here. I've seen a millipede. It paused for a moment because I couldn't remember which one it was. Yeah, I've seen a millipede chewing on that stick there. And overall, that's really it. But yeah, it's quite the cool enclosure, and I hope everything continues to do well. And yeah, I'm quite proud of this. So there you go. That's my updated terrarium.